So we're joined now by Jason Kokrak on This Week in Golf. Jason, appreciate you joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate the invite.
So we'll start with the obvious. We're up here in Canada, across Ontario and BC and Alberta. Start with the easy question. You were born in North Bay, but then moved to the US not long after. So how did it
Yeah.
come to be that you were born in North Bay, and why'd you leave?
Well, my mom is Canadian. She lived there most of her life in North Bay. Lived kind of south of Toronto. Got a couple of family members that still live in North Bay and through the Toronto area. My dad and her met on a vacation trip somewhere, and I was kind of a happy accident. And I think my mom just kind of was up visiting family, and I happened to come about. So I think that's kind of how it all came about, being born up in Canada. And then my dad had a business down in northeastern Ohio, dry cleaner. So that was going to be the main source of income. So that was kind of the area that we needed to move to. But spent a lot of winters and a lot of time visiting her family and ice fishing and doing all the Canadian stuff. I grew up playing hockey, and it's just it's a fun place to go visit, but a little too cold for me, especially being a golfer.
No doubt. Have you been back anytime since?
You know what? I haven't been back in quite some time. I've played the Canadian Open quite a few times while I was playing the PGA Tour, but I haven't been back quite a while. I've got my own family now in northeastern Ohio. I was living in Charlotte for a few years, but now back towards the Cleveland area.
So I was the sports reporter for a very brief time for the North Bay Nugget. So I lived up in North Bay for a little bit. So you're still a legend up there. So I'll give you that. So
Well, that's good. I guess my name travels all the way up there
yeah.
nowadays. That's fun.
They still speak well of you. So, Jason, take me back to your time on the PGA Tour. So, you're absolutely red hot, winning 4 tournaments between October 2020 to December 2021. Then, at some point around that time, you get a phone call or email from your agent or manager telling you about this new golf league. Just talk
Yeah.
about your initial reaction to that, to kind of how you end up making the move to live.
Well, I mean, I kind of started off being a Golf Saudi ambassador for a couple of years, and all the talks about another league coming about, and all the animosity that was causing on the PGA Tour. But when I got the call, I was semi-interested because I've already had a pre-existing relationship with those guys. So I wasn't all for it at first. I wasn't against it by any means, but it was kind of all about just a situational thing about who was going, who was making the jump, and who I was going to go with. Long story short, they made a couple of attempts and a couple of offers I said no to, and kind of put that to rest. And then Brooks called me right around the U.S. Open at the Country Club, and we talked about it, and we kind of got an offer on the table for him, and an offer on the table for myself, and it made sense to sign on together and move forward and do this whole live thing and see how it goes. So it was definitely a lot of stress on me and my family, and making that type of a decision. Getting just walking away from the PGA Tour. I hope that everything comes to back together. At least I can go play a couple of the events that I won. But that's really the some of the tournaments I do miss going to play. But yeah, it was quite interesting. The about 6+ months of negotiation and talking with them. Am I going? Am I not? And there was a lot of speculation if I was going, and a lot of people were coming to me for answers, and I was just like, you guys probably know more than I do, but I was just kind of going with the flow. And if the offer was right, and after Brooks called me and wanted me to sign on with his team for a better part of however long our contract is, I can't even remember now, but enjoying it. A lot more time with my family back home in Cleveland, and it's definitely takes the ease of the day-to-day, week-to-week grind on the PGA Tour.
Awesome. Well, we're joined by Jason Kokrak of Smash GC on Live. So let's go back to your time on the PGA Tour. So mention those wins between 2020 and 2022. You win the CJ Cup, Charles Schwab, Houston Open, and the QBE Shootout, all within
Yeah.
about a 14-month span. I mean, the hole must have been looking like a basketball net at that point. What was working well for you during that run?
I had a driver, a TaylorMade sim driver that I was absolutely hitting off the planet, really hitting it well, hitting it straight, down the fairway, a lot of looks. And then, I think I just got comfortable, obviously with my caddy, David Robinson, D-Rob as we call him, but him reading the greens, me and being comfortable, a little bit of confidence, and giving myself a lot of looks. gave me that confidence. Shadow Creek was obviously the first win, but unfortunately, not a lot of people around to witness that. But I'm very comfortable on Shadow Creek. I've played it quite a few times. I've got family that live in Vegas, spent a lot of time out there, so played that place a lot. So I was very comfortable coming down the stretch there, and it was not quite cruise control. I definitely was nervous, but the tee ball on 18 after I crushed it down the fairway was a little bit easier hitting a wedge into a par five. But same thing in Houston Open. I was actually funny story. I was thinking about withdrawing because I was trying to play that world ranking game, and I was on the range with my swing coach in my ear. I had my headphone on, and I was thinking about withdrawing. And my agent's trying to talk me into playing. David's trying to talk me into playing. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I found something on the range with Drew and D-Rob and Kevin, and I just, I just kind of ball struck myself around that place. Around the greens was tough, so missing greens, I think a lot of people were struggling, and I came down to that back nine and made a couple of great putts through that stretch. David kept my nerves calm on 16, 17, and 18, and got that win in Houston Open.
So you're now a member of Smash GC. For those listening on radio, Jason's got his Smash hat on right now. And so has being a part of a team changed your approach to golf or even enjoyment level in golf?
Yeah, I think it kind of brings everybody back to college golf, having a good time with your friends that and out here there's a lot of different personalities. I think it's okay not to get along with people or have disagreements. We're all adults here, so I think if you find the guys that are you like it to be around and practice with, and just be a team, bounce ideas off of, I think that brings a new aspect and a little bit of a refreshing feel to the game of golf, considering the entirety of golf is mostly individual, but it's still an individual game. I got to take care of what I need to take care of, and and then we come together as a team. We win in Vegas. We've had a couple other team wins. It's just it's fun to have that secondary atmosphere outside of the own individual game.
So we're joined by Jason Kokrak. And for those unfamiliar, his Smash teammates are, of course, Captain Brooks Koepka, last year's LIV champ Taylor Gooch, and the notorious Graham McDowell. So walk us through a typical conversation amongst the four of you before each event. You're in Nashville this week. What's the chat amongst the four of you going into this week?
Well, I think it's Brooks coming off of a major last week. I think he's a little bit tired. Didn't play a practice round, but we played a practice round back nine, GMAC and Gooch and I. Just kind of fun loving, kind of picking each other's brains, like about the firmness of the greens, where to play, a couple of miss spots to miss. But it's very relaxed. I mean, there's not a lot of pressure because I know that GMAC's a veteran player. Gooch is a world-class golfer, and obviously Brooks is one of the best players in the last decade or two. And myself, I got hot at the right time, and I think I'm rounding back into shape. So it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it.
So I was checking out your Instagram. You guys, all the team hanging out at like Houston Astros games and then doing a golf clinic for indigenous kids down in Australia. I mean, do you guys keep communication kind of all year round? I mean, look, it's not show friends, it's show business, but is there, is there a friendship amongst you guys?
Oh, for sure. I mean, as I said before, there's guys that you get along with, and there's guys that you don't. But the team that we have this year, we definitely mesh pretty well. Anytime I shoot a message out or anything like that, they get back real quick. And we always talk about doing something outside of a LIV event together. So that goes to show you that how close this team is, and it's a great atmosphere. I won't say it's much better than any other year, but we got four guys that we don't have to worry about, take care of each other's business, and we want to win a few more times than we have. I think we've underplayed with how we've played this year. We haven't hit our stride quite yet.
Well, speaking of when you did get that team win back at LIV Las Vegas in February, I mean, how exciting is that, being a part of a team win as opposed to an individual win? Obviously not as sweet, but still kind of exciting in your eyes, or?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I mean, I had a chance. Graham had a chance coming down the stretch. That's always fun. Gooch obviously playing really well as pretty much every week. But it was nice to get a team win. I think Graham that was his first team win. So he's like, I don't know what to do up here. So Nonetheless, it was fun to have the team win outside of an individual winning, but I think we're ready to have one of us win a tournament and have a team win. So hopefully that's this week.
So we're joined by Jason Kokrak, Live Golf. And so, Jason, you're currently number 26 in the Live points or the rankings, just past the halfway point of the season. And so, for those unfamiliar, Live Golf has relegation, much like the English Premier League and that. So, if you don't perform, you get dropped or punted from the league. I mean, how stressful is that looming, possibility of relegation in your mind?
Well, I think it's a little different in some of our cases. I think everybody has a different contract level, a different number of years that they've signed on for. So there's going to be some guys that you'll see relegated, and see some other guys picked up if they've played bad enough. But I think they only have a couple of spots that actually get relegated. You'll see a couple guys probably sign on next year, but you guys probably know more than I do about that. I'm just trying to keep my head down, grind it out, and play as well as I can.
So you can't get relegated anytime soon? Is that not to get into too much specifics?
Yeah, pretty much. I can't get relegated for
Okay,
the
all
next
right.
couple of years, so we'll be okay.
Well, that's comforting. And so, well, Jason, we all saw Bryson DeChambeau's incredible performance last week at the U.S. Open. I mean, you guys are playing Nashville this week. Is there a feeling that Bryson's success could translate to more success for Live Golf in the United States, even as early as this week in Nashville? Is there any kind of additional buzz based on what Bryson did this past week?
Oh, no question. I think they've been sold out on Saturday for a few weeks now, and they're just about sold out for Friday and Sunday. So I think the crowds are getting bigger and bigger around a Live event, being a little bit too. I mean, we're a good 40 minutes outside of downtown Nashville, but yeah, we're expecting big crowds, a party hole this week here in Nashville. So it's we're calling it Smashville. So it'll be fun. It's a great atmosphere, a great town, and hopefully we'll pull off that second team W of the year.
Cool. So we're joined by Jason Kokrak. So Jason, we're on, a couple stations across Canada. One of them in Sauga 960 across Ontario. We were the first radio station in North America to air Live Golf. So
Nice.
I helped. What we did, we took the TV feed, and then I would be on watching, because sometimes on TV there's a 20-second silence. Well, it doesn't necessarily work for radio, so I would jump in, kind of doing the play-by-play. So I've been
Yeah.
on the Live train maybe a little bit earlier than some of the other broadcasters across North America. And so I'm a big Live guy. I had Jerry Foltz on about a year ago, and he helped me understand the team aspect, and it kind of changed my
Yeah.
perspective and makes a bit more sense. And so, you were one of the initial guys, one of the earlier guys going to Live. But how much of an excitement or morale bump was it when you saw John Rahm coming to Live a couple months ago? And that was, record breaking news all over, not just golf media, but all over, mainstream media as well.
Well, I think anytime you get a player of that caliber to sign on with Live, something that's relatively new to the golf world, I mean, definitely going to shake things up. I mean, when Dustin it was the first one to go, and then Brooks, you talk about Cam Smith, Bryson, all these guys, following, and then John Rahm signing on to, round out, I guess, the 13th team. But it's just one of those things. The big name players, the guys that move the needle, seem to be coming over to Live, and some of the other players, not to take anything away from what they're doing on the PGA Tour. I think we have a step up right now. We have personalities on this tour. We have guys that can relate to, a few more people out there, reach a different audience, I guess. I think it's just a different type of atmosphere at a Live event compared to a PGA Tour event.
So I'm hoping to get down to Live West Virginia coming up in
Oh yeah.
August, because that's drivable for me. I'm up in Toronto area, so be about a 7-8 hour drive to get down there. So hopefully bump into you in person there. So there seems to be some sort of framework in place, or at least a deal in the works between Live, PGA Tour, and DB Tour. What's your personal interest level of, if allowed, going back and jumping on a PGA Tour event or even DP Tour event in 2025 and beyond? Is there, do you even care to show up to anything, or?
I mean, I would have some interest in playing a select few events. I think having a little bit smoother pathway, I guess you could say, back to playing those events, or choosing a few other, or an invite, or what have you. I think I think we just need to kind of call it what it is. I mean, Live is going to be here for a while. PGA Tour is not going anywhere. I think everybody just needs to start playing nice, and they have some elite players in the world. We have some elite players in the world, and who knows what's actually going to happen, because I sure don't. But I would rather see less animosity between the two. My view is, I'm not sure. I probably shouldn't even say it, but I just want everybody to just, drop the act of, I don't agree with this. I took some heat last week from an older guy that I was just like, it doesn't really matter. I've already made my decision. I've been here for, a number of years. Like, if you're going to say something, 3 years ago was the time to say something, not now. So I just wish that we could play like if I wanted to play the CJ Cup or the Houston Open again. I mean, I know Mr. Crane would love to have me back as a past champion. So I'd love to come back and play those events if I'm invited. If not, I'm more than happy spending those extra weeks at home with my family.
Cool. I wish I got you last week on the show when they were doing all the tequila, and maybe you've been a little bit looser with that. And so two quick questions here to wrap up. So one, I know you're a dad, 2 kids, right?
Yeah, 2 boys, 7 and 5.
So has being a live player allowed you, a little bit of a lesser schedule has allowed you to be a better father and husband, maybe?
Well, I'm definitely more present. Obviously, I travel quite a bit for work before, but yeah, I'm very much enjoying more time. I'm looking forward to, when they start playing more sports and being able to either coach or be present or just going to more things, and just their faces when I show up to their the church camp or we'll just pick them up in dad's truck. It goes a long way to just being home and present.
And then lastly, so we're joined by Jason Kokrak from Smash GC. Predictions for Live Nashville. What's the feeling amongst you guys heading into this week?
I think playing with the guys, I think Brooks is I think Brooks Koepka, so he's going to play well most of the time. Gooch is rounding into shape. GMAC had a great finish in Houston, and I've been trending a little bit here and there. So hopefully we all come together and one of us takes down the individual championship, and we take it as a team as well.
Well, awesome, Jason. Can't thank you enough for your time. Best of luck for the rest of the week, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.